Hey everybody, I'm John at Collect Cards. Hope you're all doing well. It is Monday night, February 12th, almost 24 hours after, well, one of the best second halves of any Super Bowl, I guess you could say. Fourth quarter was particularly exciting. Overtime was pretty darn good too. Again, it was in the end, it's two really good teams who were going at it kind of back and forth there in the last like 20 minutes of game time, roughly or so. And so that's what you wanted to see in a game like that. In the end, I was pulling for the Chiefs because I can never get myself to root for the 49ers. They just had too much success growing while I was growing up for me to really ever root for them, even though it has been almost 30 years since they've lifted the Lombardi Trophy. But a very good game. And but now, gosh, it's pitchers and catchers coming up, I believe, later this week. And baseball can't get going soon enough, in my opinion. And what I'm going to do in this video really quick is give you one last update on my VR that is going to end for submissions on midnight Wednesday, Valentine's Day. So you got about two days and a few more hours from the recording of this video to get a VR in if you'd still like to participate. Since the last update I made, I've gotten 5 more submissions, or VRs. So thank you again, everybody who's taken part. I have 16 right now that I've seen, and I'm going to read the list one more time here, and I'm also going to post everybody's link to everybody's channel who's VR'd so far in the description below. If you have not heard your name, if you do not hear your name and you've already done a video, please let me know as soon as possible in the comments below that you have done one. I've been, looking through, kind of just searching at JP Cards and seeing what I see in YouTube, and I think I've caught everything, but it's quite possible I haven't. So if you have recorded something and posted something and you don't hear your name here, please let me know. And also, if you are doing a VR here between now and end of night Wednesday, please let me know in the comments, regardless, or in addition to posting or tagging me. In addition to tagging me, please do comment in this video just to make sure I get a chance to see it. My aim is to do the Wheel of Names drawings on Friday. That would be my intention. If I don't get to it Friday, it would definitely be Saturday, but I don't know if Thursday is going to work on that because I'll probably be checking for any last VRs that got done, say, Wednesday. So aiming for Friday night for that. And here now, without further ado, are the 16 names I have VRs from. And thank you again. This is in the order of submission, starting with the first one. So we have God is Great, Drew of Vintage Legacy, Return to Collecting, Peter B., Lou Rock TV, The Detroit Collector, Southern Fried Cards, Video Guy 316, Reindeer Studios, Poor Man Stack, Wade Boggs Fan, Old Style Classics Baseball Cards, Vintage on Vintage, The Autograph Fisherman, Chris from Missouri, and Stukes Baseball Cards and Curiosities. Thanks again, everybody who have created a VR, and you still have some time to get one in. Again, it's what 1 to 3 cards would you get if $10,000 basically fell on your lap? I had a very close call on a scratch-off ticket at the start of the year where I almost won a $30,000 prize, and so I ended up winning $100, which was very cool all by itself. So it just got me thinking, in case I did come away with that prize, after taxes and maybe some necessities in terms of expenses to pay off or something. But say you had $10,000 as a prize to play with, and so that's kind of the origin of this little thought exercise. So again, thanks, and I hope to see a couple more before end of night Wednesday. So following that little update, I have 2 cards I want to share in this video. It's going to be kind of a quick video here, but both of these cards I'm actually pretty excited about picking up. And they're both coming at it very, they're among my favorite names in the sport, and kind of entities or characters in the game. But they're from very different eras, I guess you could say. And the first one I'm going to show here is this 1977 Topps Thurman Munson. I am trying to pick up Thurman's player run. I still need a 78. I need a 74 and a 75, and then I'll have all the cards. And I think eventually I will get them all graded. Even if some of them come out as 5s or 6s, I think I still want them all in slabs because he's one of my favorite players of all time, if not my favorite, even if I've, barely got to see him play. But this is, I think, maybe one of my favorite cards of his. It's definitely in the top 3. The smile, I mean, he's probably like the most like jovial or in a good mood, I guess you could say, when this photo was taken. They just, so hats off to the photographer who snapped this one and caught him in a chuckle or something and quickly snapped the photo. So I just think it's a great card of his. And 77's not my favorite set of the decade. It's not even in my top 5 of the decade. But this in particular, I think, is a really nice card. There's the back. It's got a little bit of a, excuse me, a little bit of a print stain there, but I think overall it's a pretty good card. I got it for $12 in my LCS, and I did put it in this card saver with the intention of eventually grading it at some point. The centering is really good. Corners are pretty solid. There's a little bit of a print mark there. Looks like a stray hair or something, but it's actually a print mark. But overall, pretty good card. So have that to share. And then this other card, in a recent video I mentioned how I made one more recent eBay purchase. That's kind of a big boy purchase, actually. And now I'm gonna, I'm aiming to pull back now for a time among larger purchases, because I really kind of got my year started off with a bang here where I was kind of in a buying mode. And I made some nice pickups, mostly through auction houses. This one I'm going to show is through eBay, and it's been on my want list on VCP, and really has been on my real wish list since I dove into pre-war last year, when I kind of came across this card. And it's quite possible I had seen it in the past, but just didn't really recall it. But this baseball legend is among my he's kind of in the top 10 of like people in the game and maybe characters too of the game, but also just legends and successes and what they do in the game that kind of like just kind of capture my imagination a little bit, maybe more than a little bit. If you've watched a decent number of my videos, I got a thing for managers. I don't know why that is. It just kind of is. I think it has to do with like the generations, how like players who play under a manager who end up managing themselves and influence another one of their players, and sort of branches on a tree. So I do find that piece kind of interesting. And, kind of at the root of this tree, or one big managerial tree, is one of the greatest managers of all time. He's 3rd all time in managerial wins. And it's none other than John McGraw. So I picked up, I'm going to move Thurman here and then cover him with this card to try to keep it in focus. So I picked up the T205 McGraw a couple of weeks ago. I got it less than 2 weeks ago. I got it late last week. I think this looks great. I bought it raw. Bought it from a pretty reputable seller on eBay who has 100% rating, with a few hundred total feedback. And he has sold a good amount of vintage and pre-war. Pretty glowing comments from buyers with high numbers too, in terms of feedback numbers, which makes me think they're, buying wisely as well. So I bought this. I purchased this with confidence. You never know; it could come back authentic if it was trimmed in some way. Definitely taking a calculated risk there, but I got it for a pretty good price, in my opinion. If it does come back graded, which I'm pretty hopeful it will, with a number grade on it, then I think I got it at a pretty good auction price. And it had this card had well over a dozen bidders. I can't remember the number of bids. It was over 20. So this is a nice one. It's a Piedmont, so it's just the regular old Piedmont back, factory 25. So just the base, if you will, in terms of backs, but it's pretty nice back overall. A little off center there back, but in terms of the front, It's mostly a little bit bottom. But overall, the edges look pretty good. I did measure this next to some of the other T205s I have. I'm pretty confident that this will grade. So, again, I'm not an expert in these cards though, so we'll see. But even if this did come back authentic, and my little roll of the dice here kind of doesn't, doesn't come out how I, hope in that regard, it still would be fantastic in a slab and would look really, really good. But I am pretty hopeful that this will come back with a number grade. So I do look forward to sending it in. I'm probably going to send it in right away on my next SGC submission in March. I have one out to SGC right now, a 5-carder that hope to get back in the next week or two. And so I look forward to sharing those slab reveals when they get back. But that's really all I had to show today. I wanted to show these 2 cards, including, Thurman for sure, but in particular McGraw. A big purchase for me in terms of it really wasn't, it was just north of 100. It wasn't that much more than that. In the end, if you look up prior sales on eBay, you could find what it went for. So overall, that's what I have for you today. I showed these 2 cards. I have the Jackie here off to the side as sort of my little, again, trying to keep me on track the rest of the year, because I'm really trying to work my way toward the real deal for this card later this year, possibly at the National or somewhere else or wherever. But that's it for today, folks. Thanks for watching. And if you do want to get a VR in, you got about 2 more days to do it. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great week.